Help me reach 3,000 subscribers. Hit like and leave a comment. I really do read them all. She came in with glossy shopping bags and perfume like it was a work shift. I dropped my keys on the counter, reached for a hug like I usually do after a long day, and Brooke nudged me off with her elbow as if I was the waiter blocking her view. Not now, she waved, checking her phone. I didn't even get the ring I wanted. My card didn't cover it. I glanced at the bags. Looked like it covered plenty. It wasn't enough, she shot back. It's a simple gold band. Not even big. You're the high earner. Why am I stressing over crumbs? I leaned on the island. Because your crumbs add up to a mortgage. She slid the bags away from me like I'd contaminate them. Then you should be excited I have taste. Or we cut spending. Basic math. Her lip curled. Then cut your touching too. My body, my rules. Don't grab me when I'm not in the mood. I stared at her a second, then nodded. My money, my rules. Don't ask me when I'm not in the mood. If I'd known where that was headed, I would have skipped the hug and gone straight to the server to disconnect her card that night. The next morning, I did exactly that. She figured it out around lunch. I was on a call when my phone lit up with a string of texts. Her, card declined at lunch. Are you kidding? Her, fix it now. Her, why is this even a thing? I finished the call, set my mug down, and dialed. She picked up mid-ring. You turn my card off? She fired. I set a boundary, I replied. No more unlimited spending on my accounts. We'll budget together. You want something, we discuss it before the swipe. I'm not a teenager asking for gas money. You're also not bringing in income, I answered. I cover everything. If we're adding luxury shopping, it has to be deliberate, not impulse. I run this house. That's work. Then run it, I said. Groceries, bills, scheduling? We're covered. Designer rings aren't a utility. She exhaled sharply. Turn it back on. No, Mark, I'm not punishing you. I cut in. I'm done with drive-through spending. The card's off. You want something, ask. I'll say yes or no. Same way you decide when I can hug my wife. That was nasty, she snapped. You drew the line first. She hung up. A minute later, a selfie came through, Brooke with a pout, at a cafe with her friend Kelsey. Caption, guess I'll just sip water. Mr. Budget says no fun. I turned the phone face down. 10 minutes later, another text. Her, Kelsey's birthday dinner tonight. 7 p.m. at Mercer's. You're paying. Make your little speech there if you dare. Perfect. Public stage. At 5, I shut my laptop and walked down the hall to my operations lead, Nate. He's 35, shaved head, sleeve tattoos under a button-down, sharp guy who handles fire calmly. You good for tomorrow's client walkthrough? I asked. We're set, he said. You look like you're about to fire someone. Not tonight, I said. Just dinner. He smirked. The wife and her crew again. Yep. Don't bleed out at the table, he warned, half joke, half advice. I'm done bleeding, I told him, grabbing my jacket. Mercer's has that soft lighting that makes mediocre food look fancy. Kelsey was at the head, Brooke close by, 2 more from their friend group, Lila and Stacy, with hair blown out like they were attending a show. When I walked up, Brooke gave me a cold once-over like a bouncer deciding if I was dressed right. You made it, she said. Bring your wallet. Kelsey laughed too loudly. We're celebrating me surviving my 30s. Happy birthday, I told her, pulling out a chair. Order what you want. Brooke leaned into the group like a sports announcer. Except I guess I can't, because Mark turned off my card. Lila let out an oof. Stacy made big eyes. I picked up the menu. We're not doing a comedy roast, I said evenly. We're doing dinner. I'll cover the table, food. No cocktails that cost like plain fuel. Keep it normal. Brooke folded her arms. So generous. Any other rules I should follow while I eat? Just one, I replied. Stop making our finances a group activity. Kelsey raised a hand like we were in class. It's not a big deal. She's just venting. It's a big deal to me, I said. We had a pattern. Swipe now, talk later. That pattern's done. Brooke tapped the table. Why were you acting like a banker? You weren't like this when we got married. When we got married, you didn't treat money like a toy dispenser. Stacy chimed in. He's got a point, B. It was polite, but it landed. Brooke gave her a quick glare, then turned back to me. I'm allowed to want things. Want all you need, I said. Ask like an adult. I'll answer like one. No, is a complete sentence, same as not in the mood. That hit. She sat back, lips tight. The waiter arrived. The table shifted to orders, heavy on appetizers that sounded like the chef had a thesaurus. I took the simplest steak. Halfway through, Brooke started a new game, voice just loud enough for nearby tables. Do you ever get tired of counting pennies, Mark? Or is it like a hobby now? You and your spreadsheets. I cut my steak. Do you ever get tired of performing? Or is this therapy now? You and your audience. Kelsey coughed. Okay, let's chill. I set my fork down. Here's my piece, and I'm done. From tonight forward, Brooke's spending is not on my auto pay. She brings me a list. I approve what fits. Monthly cap, non-negotiable. If that sounds controlling, call it responsible. I work. I provide. I also decide when the faucet's on. Brooke lifted her water glass. And if I decide your touch is off, that's your right, I answered. Then your access to what I earn is my right. We went quiet. The plates arrived. They ate. I ate. Brooke talked less. She wasn't beaten. She was scoring the match. When the bill came, I took it, crossed off the cocktails that somehow multiplied, and paid for the food plus tip. Brooke watched me like I'd stepped on a line. On the sidewalk, while Kelsey hugged Brooke and said, "Text me," Brooke stepped close enough to brush my shoulder. That was humiliating, she said. Then stop setting up the stage, I told her. Turn the card back on tomorrow, she said. I'll keep it under whatever number makes you feel big. No. She studied my face, hunting for a crack. I'll make dinner tomorrow. Your favorite. We'll talk. Tomorrow I've got an early start, I said. I'll eat at the office. She laughed. One note, bitter. You're really going to punish me by not coming home for dinner? I'm going to stop feeding a pattern, I said. See you later. I walked to the truck. In the rear view, she stood on the curb with the bags from yesterday and the bill from tonight, calculating the new math. The next day, I was at the office at 7. Coffee in a paper cup, inbox quiet, the nice clean hum of people who were good at what they did. I ruled out the afternoon gym to stay late on a proposal. At 9:30, Brooke called. I let it ring twice. You skipped the breakfast I made. She started without hello. I set the table. I tried. I appreciate the effort, I answered. I'm at work. I said I'm trying. I heard you. Keep trying. I shouldn't have made that joke at dinner, she said, softer. It was ugly. I know. That was a start, I said. What's the plan going forward? I'll keep it reasonable, she said. I'll ask you before big buys. I'll bring receipts if you want. Can we drop the banker act? If you stick to that for a month, I told her, we can talk about easing the cap. For now, it stays. You don't trust me. Not with impulse, I said. Earn it. She was quiet. Fine. Come home tonight. I'll grill. I even got the good wine. Don't worry about the wine, I said. I'm late at the office. You're punishing me again. I'm working. The part that pays for the roof we live under. She exhaled. Okay. Then this weekend we need to go to Kelsey's lake thing. Everyone's bringing something. I want to show up well. I'm not going, I said. I've got the quarterly review Monday. I need the prep. Don't do this, Mark. I'm doing my schedule, I said. If you want to go, go. But I'm not funding a parade. You're leaving me there without you. That's petty. It's me not auditioning, I said. We'll talk Sunday. I hung up and booked a hotel conference room for Saturday morning to run projections with Nate. Preemptive move. She wanted a stage. I'd be somewhere with spreadsheets and coffee, not performing on a dock. Around noon, I got a text from my neighbor, Mrs. Patel. She and her husband are in their 60s, retired teachers. She has a cheerful nosy streak I actually don't mind. Her, saw Brooke this morning. She seems upset. Everything okay? Me, we're sorting budgets. Her, budgets are good. Make lists. Lists save my marriage. I smirked. Simple wisdom beats therapy sometimes. At 4, Brooke sent a picture of a perfectly seared steak and asparagus. Waiting, she wrote. I stayed at the office until 8. When I walked in, the plate was wrapped in foil in the fridge. Brooke sat on the couch with a magazine open and her expression carefully neutral. You missed it, she said. I told you I would, I answered, putting the plate in the oven. She watched me set the temperature. I tried. I noticed, I said. Keep going. What does that even mean? How many hoops? It means be consistent, I told her. Not sugar one day, poison the next. She closed the magazine. What if I plan a weekend for just us? Somewhere nice. You pick the place, I'll handle the rest. Not this month, I said. Too much on my plate. And vacations aren't band-aids. She laughed under her breath. You always have something on your plate when it's my plan. I always have something on my plate, I said. Work doesn't pause because you're bored. Her eyes went flat. It's not about boredom. It's about feeling special. You used to make me feel that way. I used to think gratitude was a default, I said. Turns out it's a rental. She stood up. You're really enjoying this tough guy routine. I'm enjoying not being a vending machine. She went to the bedroom. 10 minutes later, a new text. Tomorrow, Kelsey wants brunch. Come. Show you're not hiding. I sent back. Busy. Have fun. She replied with a single word. Coward. I put my phone down and ate my reheated dinner at the island, alone, with silence that felt clean. Saturday morning, I was at the hotel meeting room with Nate and 2 analysts. Spreadsheets, sales trajectories, a whiteboard full of boxes. At 10, my phone buzzed. Brooke, emergency. Call. I stepped into the hall. What happened? Nothing happened, she said. I'm at brunch. You were supposed to show your face, and you didn't. They're all asking where the king of budgets is. Working, I said. Did the house catch fire? If not, this isn't an emergency. She lowered her voice, but I could hear chatter and clinking glasses. Kelsey's talking about renting a cabin next month. We're in. We're not, I said. I'm out that weekend. Conference in San Diego. Since when? Since I booked it 10 minutes ago, I replied. I told you I'm not funding parades. I'm also not attending them. You're punishing me in front of my friends without being here, she said. Genius move. I'm protecting time and money. You manage impressions, I manage reality. No one wants a man who counts every penny, she hissed. No one wants a wife who uses affection like store credit. I countered. There was a beat. Then she switched tones so fast I almost laughed. Okay, she said, syrup smooth. Then I'll just see you tonight. I'll make that pasta you like. We can pick a number for the monthly limit. Fair. Fine, I said. 2,000. Essentials excluded. Anything above, you pitch it, we evaluate. 2. She repeated like she misheard. 2. I confirmed. She paused. Okay. If that makes you feel safe. It makes me feel respected. We'll talk later, she said. And hey, I miss you. Take care, I said, and hung up. Nate stepped out of the conference room, brow raised. We good? We're moving, I said. Let's finish the forecast. We wrapped by noon. I swung by a hardware store for a new lockbox and put it in my closet when I got home. Passports, documents, the checkbook, all in. Not because I was afraid, because I was done leaving tools lying around for someone else's experiments. Brooke was at the dining table, glossy magazine open again. She looked up. You changed something in the closet? I secured our stuff, I said. Responsible thing to do in any household. I'm not a thief, she replied. Then you won't mind. She closed the magazine, pasted on a smile. Pasta in 20 minutes. Want a glass of wine? Water's fine, I said. She came up behind me in the kitchen, rested a hand on my shoulder. I hate fighting with you. We're not fighting, I said. We're restructuring. I can live with a cap, she said quietly. I can also live with your rules if you're not mean about it. Noted. She cooked. We ate. We even watched a sitcom afterward like some pretend normal, her head against the couch cushion near me, her fingers inching closer to my arm, like testing water. I let it sit there. I wasn't rewarding. I was observing. Around 10, she gathered plates. Come to bed. Not tonight, I answered. I sleep better after spreadsheets. Old man habits. She gave a tiny, wounded sound. You're punishing me with the guest room. I'm sleeping where I want to, I said. My body, my rules. Something flickered in her eyes. Then she smiled again. You think you're clever. I think I'm consistent. She went to the bedroom. I put a fresh sheet on the guest bed and slept like I earned it. At 9 the next morning, we were on the porch. Mrs. Patel walked by with her tiny dog and stopped like a news anchor sniffing a story. Morning, she called. You two look focused. We're budgeting, Brooke chimed too cheerfully. Adulting hard. Lists help, Mrs. Patel said to me. Don't forget date nights, dear. They matter. We're on it, I told her. Brooke waved, then turned to me with a tight smile. You love when the neighborhood thinks we're perfect. I love not being a show, I replied. Keep the Sunday calm. No theater. She nodded slowly, like filing it away. Then she went inside and came out with her phone. We need groceries. Can you send me a transfer? We'll go together, I said. We'll shop with a list and a number. I don't need a chaperone, she said. I need milk and chicken. We'll go together, I repeated. Or I'll go alone. Your call. She inhaled. Forget it. I'll order delivery. That's not in the number. Her jaw flexed. You're going to micromanage chicken now. I'm going to run my house like a man, not a mascot, I replied. Pick, ride or sit out. She went inside, slammed a drawer, small sound, big message. 10 minutes later, she came back with keys. Fine, let's do your list. We shopped. She tested a few accidental drops into the cart, scented candles the price of a nice dinner, a gadget we didn't need. I put them back without a speech. Action over noise. At checkout, we came in under the cap. She looked shocked, like I'd stolen some small victory. In the car, she spoke without looking at me. This feels like you don't want me to have anything. This feels like you want me to guess what love costs, I said. I'm out of guessing. Other husbands. I'm not other husbands, I cut in. I'm the one paying for the roof. Respect the man or respect the door. She stared ahead. You're making it hard to love you. No, I said. I'm making it hard to use me. We drove in silence. She was taking notes. I was too. Monday night, I came home late again. Proposal signed, new client on board. Wins I used to come home proud to share. Brooke was on the couch with her laptop open to a furniture site. Tabs like wish lists were stacked across the top. Hey, she said without looking up. I found a sectional we need. The living room looks sad. We don't need it, I replied, dropping my bag by the door. Also, the living room looks like a living room. She turned the screen to me. Mid-century, clean lines. It would tie the room together. We're not buying furniture because you're bored. She kept the screen toward me. You said make a list. I'm making a list. Are we not doing lists now? We're doing priorities, I said. New couch isn't top 3. She leaned back, crossed her arms. Then what is? Because from here it looks like your top 3 are work, your gym bag, and ignoring me. My top 3 are mortgage, savings, and sanity, I said. You want to be 4th? Be 4th. But that couch is 10th. She laughed without humor. You're unbelievable. You're predictable, I said. She shut the laptop with a slap. If you won't invest in our home, maybe I need to rethink being in it. Say the line you're warming up to, I told her. We both know it. She squared up, chin forward. Turn my card back on. Now, or I'm filing for divorce. I looked at her for a beat. The house hummed its small noises, the fridge, the AC, the neighbor's mower in the distance. I almost smiled. Do it, I said. She blinked. What? File, I repeated. You're not the first person to bluff at this table. I don't blink. I didn't mean, she started. I did, I cut in. I've been thinking about it myself. If what you want is my money without my presence, you don't need a husband. You need a subscription. I don't offer those. Her face changed in tiny steps, like a stage light dimming. Mark, I was kidding. That was too far. You don't kid with threats, I said. Pack a bag. You can stay at Kelsey's a few nights while you think. She scoffed. I'm not going anywhere. You are, I said. I'm not sharing a roof with someone who puts a price list on respect. She got up, paced, turned, pointed. If you push me, you'll regret it. You think you're untouchable because you earn more? I will take everything. You'll end up with your gym bag and a folding chair. I laughed. I didn't plan it. It came out dry and clean. You won't. But I admire the confidence. You think your little lockbox will save you? You have assets. I know you do. You know what I let you see, I said. And you fail to understand something simple. I never put a roof I pay for in someone else's hands. She stared like I'd spoken in code. Then she realized I wasn't bluffing, and the tactics shifted. She softened her mouth, dropped her shoulders a bit. I said it because I'm scared, she murmured. Scared you don't care. Scared I don't matter. You matter enough that I'm making this clean, I said. You leave tonight. I'll have the rest of your things sent to wherever you end up. I'll be fair with the savings we built after we married. Beyond that, the story ends here. She shook her head quickly. No, I take it back. I'm sorry. I was angry. I said something ugly because you've been cold. Get your overnight bag, I said calmly. I'll wait. She stood there, waited for me to flinch. I didn't. She went to the bedroom. I could hear drawers opening and closing, hangers sliding. While she packed, I fired off texts. First to Kelsey. Brooke is heading your way for a few days. Let me know if you need anything tonight. Then to her brother, Dale. Heads up. Brooke may reach out. Keep her safe. No need for commentary. He's a decent guy who hates drama. Then to Mrs. Patel, if you see movers this week, it's planned. Controlling the narrative without the billboard. Brooke came out with a weekender bag and a tote. She stopped by the door. You're really doing this, she said. I'm enforcing it, I replied. She lifted her chin. I'll take you for everything. That roof you're proud of, gone. Good luck, I said. Her eyes flared. You're impossible. No, I said. I'm done. She left. The door closed. The house got very quiet and very honest. Tuesday, she showed up at my office with a smile like a rescue mission. I was in the glass conference room with Nate and a client. She walked in without knocking. Mark, she sang lightly. Can we talk a second? The client looked uncomfortable. Nate looked like he was watching live TV. Give me 1 minute, I told the client. We stepped into the hall. I overreacted, she said in a bright whisper. I've been spiraling. I'm here to apologize. Can we reset? You know I love you. I got carried away. Appreciate the apology, I said. It doesn't change the move. Please don't make this bigger than it is, she said quickly. Come home tonight. We'll talk like adults. I'll even call my mom and tell her I was being dramatic. We are talking like adults, I said. The adult conversation is that we're done playing games. I'm arranging the logistics. She blinked fast. I'm doing what you asked. I'm softening. I'm admitting fault. And you're what? Punishing me for trying. I'm following through, I said. I don't reward threats. Nate opened the conference room door and stuck his head out. We can reschedule if you need. We're good, I told him. Brooke reached for my forearm. Mark, please. I eased my arm back. This is my workplace. We'll finish here, then I'll call you with the details. She stared at me, wounded turned to anger. You just embarrassed me in front of your staff. You embarrassed yourself walking into my office mid-meeting, I replied. Don't do it again. She left without another word, heels striking the tile like exclamation points. I went back in, handled the meeting, and then spent lunch building a list. Movers. Storage. A cleaning service. A new schedule. You don't argue a fire out. You clear the room and starve it. That evening, she texted a picture of takeout and a bottle of wine on our table. Truce, it said. Logistics, I wrote back. Tomorrow, 10 a.m. movers. Be there or leave a note about what you want shipped. You're cold, she replied. I'm decisive, I sent. 30 minutes later, Kelsey called. I'm not taking sides, she started, which is how you know someone is about to take sides. But she's spiraling. She says you cut her off like a bill. I cut off the money, I said. I didn't cut off humanity. She's safe with you. That counts. You really going through with ending it? She asked, curiosity betraying empathy. Yes. She's saying she'll take you for everything. Kelsey added carefully. She'll take what the law says is fair, I replied. I don't run from fair. Kelsey paused. You're very calm. I'm very done, I said and hung up. Movers showed up the next morning. 2 guys, efficient, quiet. Brooke arrived 20 minutes into it with a coffee and a smile. You can stop, she told them. We've decided to work on things. I stepped from the hall. No, we haven't. She turned a smile to me. Let's not do this in front of strangers. That's the point, I said calmly. Strangers make it civil. I addressed the lead mover. Master closet. The rack on the left is hers. Boxes labeled Bigo 2. Nothing else. Brooke's eyes flashed. I will make this ugly. You already did, I said. Now we make it simple. Your mother can't save you from me, she threw in, about as subtle as a fire alarm. The mover's eyebrows climbed. I smiled a little. Gentlemen, I said, ignoring her line. Handle with care. The neighbor from across the street, Gary, waved from his driveway like he'd just wandered into a scene. He's harmless, talks about lawn care like it's a religion. He took in the truck, the boxes. Everything good, he asked. Rearranging, I told him. Brooke crossed her arms, glaring at me, then at Gary. We're restructuring. Like his budgets. Gary nodded, confused. Okay. Need any help? We've got it, I said. Brooke set her coffee down hard on the table, then picked it up again like she'd thought about throwing it. She leaned close to me and spoke low. Listen to me. If you don't turn that card back on and stop this circus, I swear I'll make sure you walk out of this house with nothing. Not a fork. I didn't lean in. I didn't raise my voice. I answered like I was confirming a lunch order. Everything in this house is leased from a family trust, I said matter of fact. The deed isn't mine. The vehicles are owned by my company. My personal savings are divisible. That's fine. You'll get what's fair from that. The rest you've been living in was never legally mine to give away. So if the plan was to trade affection for assets, it's a bad plan with me. She stared at me like I'd slapped her with paperwork. You planned this. I planned to be responsible. I corrected. Since before we got married. The movers carried a box through the room. Brooke turned away so they wouldn't see her expression. When they passed, she spun back, words sharp but thinner now. You hid everything from me. I protected it, I said. From anyone, including you if you turned me into an ATM. She looked me over like she was seeing a new person. Maybe she was. Maybe I was new. She grabbed her phone, thumbed fast. I'm calling a friend. We're not done. You were done the moment you put a price on respect, I answered. She stared another second, then walked onto the porch. She made calls. She paced. She posted something, I'm sure. I didn't check. The movers finished in under 2 hours. I tipped well and locked the door after they left. Brooke stood in the living room, hands on her hips. You think you won, she said. I think I stopped losing, I replied. So that's it. Years together, and you tossed me out like trash because I wanted a ring and a couch. No, I said. I ended it because you turned love into a market. You refused to hear no. You threatened me to get your yes. And when I called your bluff, you tried to take the table. I don't sit with people who flip tables. She grabbed her bag and tossed her hair like a curtain call. You'll regret this when you're alone with your precious spreadsheets and empty bed. I sleep fine, I said. And I like my spreadsheets. She paused at the door, fishing for one last hook. Turn my card back on. We can still fix this. No. Then goodbye, she said. Hold on, I said. She turned, hopeful for a second. What? I walked to the kitchen, took her copy of the house key off the hook by the pantry, the little hook labeled spares, and set it on the counter. You won't be needing this, I told her. She looked at the key, then at me. You're cold. I'm clear. She left. 2 weeks later, the paperwork was moving the way paperwork moves, slowly and without drama because I refused to feed it any. Brooke texted a few times. The first week, it was speeches. Her, you're not the man I married. Me, I'm the man who pays attention. Her, everyone thinks you're cruel. Me, everyone can watch their own house. Then it was soft. Her, can we just meet for coffee? No arguing. I miss my friend. Me, we're not friends. We're adults with a contract ending. Her, Kelsey says you looked sad the other day. Me, she misread my face. Then it was transactional again. Her, I'll be reasonable about the savings if you let me keep my car. Me, it's not mine to grant. I didn't block her. I didn't fight her. I answered what needed answering and let silence do the rest. At work, my team noticed I was lighter. Nate made a joke about me smiling, then apologized mid-sentence like he'd gone too far. I waved him off. It's good, I said. And it was. The house was quiet and steady. I cleaned out the closet, reorganized the garage, sat on my old couch that suddenly felt perfectly fine. 3 months later, it was done. She got a fair slice of the savings built during the marriage. She didn't touch assets she assumed were mine because they weren't. The roof above me was still steady. The vehicles in the garage still started when I turned the key. I heard through Mrs. Patel that Brooke had moved into a rental across town, briefly upgraded the decor with her cut, then cut the upgrades when reality introduced itself. Kelsey ran into me at the grocery store and gave me a quick nod like a field medic. She's figuring it out, Kelsey said, picking at a label on her coffee. She thought it would be different. Different how? I asked. She thought there was more. Kelsey shrugged. That there's always more. There wasn't, I said. There never is. Not for free. You're okay? She asked. I'm better, I told her. One less game to play. I didn't rush into anything. I went to work early because I liked it. I took up an old hobby in my garage on Saturdays, put a bench in the backyard, and had coffee there at sunrise on Sundays. I bought nothing I couldn't justify in 2 lines. My truck ran. My house was quiet. The guest room stayed a guest room. I wasn't lonely. I was alone, which is different and better if you know what to do with it. Every now and then, someone asked what happened. I gave the same short answer. We disagreed on what respect costs. If they pushed, I changed the subject. I wasn't going to spend the next year explaining a decision I'd already paid for. One afternoon, Mrs. Patel stopped by with her tiny dog and pointed to the new planters by the porch. Nice touch, she said. Did you do that yourself? I did, I said. She smiled like that meant something deeper. Maybe it did. She asked if I was dating. I said no. She said I should. I said not yet. She nodded like a coach who knows the season is long. A week later, I saw Brooke across a parking lot near a strip of shops. She didn't see me. She was with Lila, talking fast, hands moving, expression a mix of high and low. For a second, I almost walked over. Then I remembered all the tables and stages, and I got in my truck and went home. No regret. No what-ifs. I made a call when the price list hit the table. I stuck to it. I didn't chase. I didn't audition. I kept what I'd built safe and walked out with my head up. The last thing Brooke texted me before I muted the thread was a simple sentence. You really didn't need me, did you? I looked at it and thought about all the nights I'd worked late, all the mornings I'd taken a breath on the porch, all the little choices to protect the roof and the man under it. I typed back. I needed respect. The rest comes with it. Then I went to the kitchen, made a simple dinner I could afford with money I'd earned, and ate it at the island without a show.